Hi everyone, it's in the middle of July, and July till now has been great fun for astrophotography. And I wanted to show you some results I got and how I got there. It started off right here in our backyard, and I will show you exactly where. So, as you see, there's lots of plants and bushes, but if we go back here, there is a little open spot. And I had just gotten the Should Move Nomad a few weeks ago, but it just wasn't clear enough. And when it was clear, I wanted to try it out. And here the grass wasn't mowed yet then, so it all tickled in my legs. But also this mice wasn't that high yet, this corn. So I thought it was a great place to start. There are a few things I had to get used to, like having to move the camera out of the way for polar alignment, and then trying not to bump it in it while I was repositioning the camera, which of course happened 2 or 3 times. And of course it's just the stock lens in front of my camera, so I didn't expect any miracles. So here's a picture I took just with my iPhone. And that's a picture I took with the camera on the tripod in the Nomad. I took about an hour of pictures and the clouds starting to roll in. Then I also took all the calibration frames, the flats, the darks, the biases, and had it all packed up in a folder.
Last time we talked, you had nothing to say.
After Siril has done its magic, you can open up the result and you see nothing. Because only when you go into auto stretch, you get a first glimpse of what the result might look like. But then it still takes some work to really stretch the picture, do the background extraction, the color calibration, sharpening, and so on to make it look like something pretty.
When it ends, when it ends, it ends.
This is nothing crazy. I'm certainly no Milky Way expert, but I still think it's fascinating, especially if you know what's all hiding there. Antares is very well visible. You see all the dark streaks everywhere, and in the core you see all these nebula that you know are there and are so pretty. So 2 days later we went down to Ticino, the southern Italian part of Switzerland. We had been there before, so I knew the rental house we went to had electricity, and the forecast was good as well. So I took quite a lot of my stuff with me.
No, you can't bring us back from the day. 'Cause when you know, and when you don't, when it ends.
I made a separate video on how I pointed 3 different cameras, 3 different lenses at the beautiful Cygnus or Schwan region. So I only show you the results, and I put a link to that video at the end of this one.
When it was you who let go of everything we could have been. Is it sinking in all your regret? No, you can't bring us back from the day. 'Cause when you know, and when you don't, when it...
The clouds didn't fully cooperate every night, which was fine with me, so I could process the pictures I had taken before without any stress. But in between, I quickly got a look at the ISS, which is always fun. I did want to take another shot at the Milky Way, but the big problem shooting from Brissago over the Lago Maggiore is Luino in Italy, which lies directly south, and further down is Milano. They are both very pretty, but of course they make a huge light pollution dome. And of course there are street lamps in the most pretty corners with the best view, which didn't make it easier. So what does Stefan do? Look for yourself.
If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire.
That's the best I could do, and given the circumstances, I am quite happy with it. But I couldn't go too far away from our rental house, because there my other gear was also at work. My target, as you've seen, is the Elephant Trunk Nebula, something I had photographed before. This was with my DSLR, the Canon 90D, behind the Askar 71F. I really like the picture. It's got a totally different framing and it came out quite okay, considering it was a non-modified camera and without guiding. The smaller sensor of my Astro camera allowed me to make the framing totally different. I already liked the stack the ISR made after the first night, but combining 2 nights and processing it properly really makes it pop. And I was really surprised at how well it came out. Fascinating stuff. Back home I tried something that I had tried before but couldn't really figure out. But now I figured it out. This is my Astro camera, the ZWO-585MC Air, and this is my 14mm lens. It's a Samyang lens, so it's not a Canon lens. It has no autofocus, and that's the only lens I can use with this Astro camera. And now I even got the spacing right, so I could manually focus it the way I want. Let me show you how it came out. Here it is, all set on the MSN Nomad Star Tracker, ready to go. Of course the 14mm lens is quite forgiving, but to being able to shoot for 75 seconds is only possible with the Star Tracker. And the signal frame shows this already. As you can see, I just can't get my eyes off that Cygnus Schwan area. It's such a fascinating region of the sky. There's always different ways to process the images. In this version I like how the nebulosity is visible, but it loses some of the fascination of taking a picture right into the Milky Way. The sheer amount of stars you can capture is just striking every single time. The last thing I want to show you is something totally different. When I went out in the night to check on the gear, it was just absolutely gorgeous, and the Milky Way just sitting right in front of me. So I took out the iPhone 15 I have, put it on the tripod and played around with it a little bit. When you put the camera on the iPhone into the night mode, it detects automatically if it's on the tripod, and it switches automatically to 30-second exposures, which are actually 3 10-second exposures combined into one. And I think it came out quite well. So I took 5 of those pictures without the tree in the frame and combined them in Siril. And I think it came out quite interesting. So this is it for now. I hope you enjoyed that little recap of July 2026, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.